Tony Gibbs, who I did before, from Glenn Maddock, deepest condolences to his family, friends and colleagues. May all the good memories last. Best regards, Glenn. And from Fergie, you all know Fergie. My thoughts are with Greg's family and friends. I can honestly say I can remember his warm, smiling face and his helpful, friendly manner to this very day. To know that the imprint you leave on this planet when you leave is a good, positive one is what matters. Greg certainly has done that. I'm proud to have known this genuine human being. Love Fergie. You know Fergie signs everything, love Fergie. And I guess a lot of you probably know Shane Scully in Sydney, a lighting guy. Greg, really good guy. He's actually, Shane's still on fire. He now has a daughter that's younger than his granddaughter, so there's nothing wrong with Shane. Hi Tony, please pass my apologies and sincere condolences onto all family, friends and road crew, brothers and sisters. And as I am unable to make it to Melbourne for Greg's funeral, I have only great fond memories of Greg, only as underlined. When we toured together with the church in the heydays, I remember him as always hard-working, but laid back, funny and witty, always up for a laugh and a yarn, an all-round good guy, and a real easygoing guy to tour with. I am sure he will be missed by all those who knew him well. Gone way too soon, Greggy. I will raise a glass or 10 for you tonight. Cheers, old mate Shane Scully. There's a good one here from Jimmy Mack. Anybody who's ever had an email from Jimmy Mack, you'll know what I'm about to go through here. However, he did manage to turn the caps lock off on his keyboard. Because I said, Jim, if you type in capitals, I'm going to have to yell it. So he actually went to normal. It says, hello to all. My memories of Greg are not based on outrageous behaviour, as most of us have been guilty of sometimes, but of a very genuine, well-mannered person, always willing to learn. He was an ideal crew member. He always worked and punched way above his size. He was always there when the back doors of the truck were being opened, not off somewhere sitting on the dummy. Jim might have been having a dig at me there. His manner with the musicians, his stagecraft and his audio ability were top shelf. It's very sad for such a person to leave us at such an age. Rest in peace, Greg. Thanks, mate. Jim Mack. From Rick Baker. Rick Baker couldn't be here today. He says, Greg was the established monitors operator when I started with no nonsense, and I was struck by his energetic good humour and infectious enjoyment in doing his job. When I think back about those days and the various yet infrequent collaborations and chance meetings since, I can't remember a time when he didn't have a big happy smile on his face and of course a good word. And so knowing that there will be no more chance meetings, I take a lesson from Froggy Thompson and simply try to smile more. And Rick Baker. I think I read Rob Miles' one. I'm going to miss that cheeky but knowing smile. It was always a pleasure to be working with you. Thanks for the quips, the great times and the knowledge you have shared with me over the years. You got Dougal's ones, you got Dave Snedden's ones, so I'm going to go into Jim Brewster's. I just printed it out then, but it's 2 pages, so blame Brewster for this. Oh, thank you. In water. What are you thinking? I don't need water, but I got one of those. Marianne and I bought some of these last night on some strange whim because Greggy liked them. And can I put this on that speaker that says absolutely no drink? If I kick a drink over on my own stage, I'm never going to hear the fucking end of it. Right, so from Jim Brewster, 2 pages. I can read it as written, or I can try and to Mr. and Mrs. Thompson. I don't think is Brian still here? I can see Daryl. Brian's got it. Anyway, well please fill in sister and brother's names for me, Tony. So that'd be Kerry and Daryl. On behalf of my brother John and Whitey, we send to you our deepest condolences on this day. I remember Greg when he just started in the industry and was working with myself, Fat Cat, Tiny, Brett Galvin. Where's freaking Tiny today? He's not far, he doesn't live far away, but anyway. And some lighting guy, actually I think it was Wormy, another old mate of Greg. Sorry Wormy, I'm just reading it as it's written. On my copy that blew out of the car today, I'd actually cut that bit out and just left Wormy. But working with Broderick Smith's big combo, when this quiet, shy, young kid turned up for work, who knew at that time what a spectacular career it would turn out to be? He learnt quickly, after a bit of time with Tiny and myself in the truck, that you got to speak up. Be quick at the roadhouse. Filling off the truck's tanks is how you got. Which I had to ring Jim and find out what the fuck he meant. What he's saying is, you pull up at the roadhouse, you fill the tanks. If you want to go and get something to eat, you've got to be back out again when the tank's full and paid for. Or he said a couple of times they took off and left Greggy in the mirror just to make him, get him on the ball. It was funny. It always took him a couple of goes to get something, like a lot of us back in the 80s, but once he had it, it stuck with him forever and ever. I remember one thing he never complained about, sitting in the middle seat in the truck. He was quick to learn the advantage of sitting there, as it was all about the passing tax. Oh, yeah, I see a few, I can't believe how many of you people are sick. You're fucking demented if you know what the passing tax is. I can't believe I let you in this joint. Greg learned quickly. How many people you sat in fucking fronts of trucks out of you? Jeez. Greg learned quickly that the truck went a certain route to get to the gig each day, and that at times it was a little bit late for the call, but he always knew that the goodies were on board. Jim's written a new effects unit to play with or something similar. I think that was in case Mum and Dad are here. I don't know. Greg was never slow in getting in and getting it done. He never stood back and watched someone struggle. He was third or fourth generation old school, and he had that approach to work for his whole career. And this is a good one. Greg once wrote me a note a long time ago after a big night of Bob Welsh's. Where the fuck is Bob Welsh too? I told him you can get other truck drivers, Bob, seriously. Anyway, hopefully someone's filming this and it'll get to Bob one day. Is he... He's only got two expensive habits. Greg once wrote a note a long time ago after a big night at Bob Welsh's house, telling me that I should listen more to what I preach and stop doing what I was doing to myself. I never forgot that and actually still have the note. Greg kept that truthfulness with him all his life. Greg grew into a fine, upstanding man with a huge heart and a peaceful soul. Well respected not only in his field of work, but as a person too. This was the mark of the man for all time. Yes, folks, there's one more page. But it's Jimmy Brewster, so you got to listen. Of course, until you told him his onstage mix was sounding a bit on the nose, he was quick to come back at with you. What would you know? You're an old bloke who gave up sound 25 years ago. Sorry, old person, no parametric equalisers here. Get back in your corner. Greg was always quick with a good, funny, to-the-point response. The man Greg had grown into never stepped back from what he believed in and what he had to say. He was an honest man and a good friend through and through. He would always have a smile and a hug for you when he saw you, along with a how you going, what's been happening. Greg never held a grudge. He never had a bad word to say about anyone or to anyone. And I think that's kind of the recurring theme today, if you had to sum it up, wouldn't you think? I was very proud of what Greg kept from his young days. It was an old school attitude. Work is work, whether it's unloading semis at Etihad Stadium or doing an onstage mix for Vanessa somewhere in the world, and all the great acts he worked for in his career. You did it well, Greg Thompson. I'm very proud of you. I will sorely miss you, my old mate. I'm tipping Jim had had a few scotches at this stage. Is he repeating himself at all? Choose well who you work with. Good travels for all times. And there's a PS. I am sorry I cannot be there. So listen, you bunch of scumbags, Thompson family not included, of course. Today is a day of celebration to honour a brother in arms, make him proud, show his family how much we care. So Kath, Robin and all you others, no crap like whimpering, sad faces, down vibes. Make our mate proud, it should be. And tell him, and take him out with a bang. He deserves it. Up to you now, Greenhall. Big Guy, Troggies, Macca, the list goes on. And I think that's where it ends up, mate. It stops making sense after that. So thanks, Jimmy Brewster. Yeah, Carrie, everybody, the steps, use the steps.
Oh, that's a bit help me up for a fall down.
Exit stage left, enter stage left. You spill that coke on the stage and you won't get the bill.
Can you drop it down a bit for me? I didn't get a chance to say today because, as we know, Dad sort of spoke for a little while. I just wanted to say to all of you that Greg did end up donating his organs. He gave his kidneys and his liver, and as we will all know, we will all be like, Greg would be laughing and going, good luck to whoever got my liver. And I just, again to reiterate, thank you for everybody, and he will be forever young. He was always such a healthy, fit man, and he always thought he was going to outlive everybody because he could do it better and stronger and drag 6, things over. They could drag 1. He just was always such a fit and healthy man, and yes, forever young. Love you, my Greg. Part of me is with you always.
Hey folks, my name's Weasel. Well, actually it's Wells Ikey. I'm a manager at Gig Power and have been for 20 years. That's where I know Greggy from. I was absolutely awestruck today to see how many people, old school, that came along to the memorial and have come along to the wake afterwards. He was a loved guy, very loved, absolute professional. The last time I worked with him was up at Rochford Winery. We didn't have a Stig, we didn't have a Cam, we had a Troy, and we had some stage manager that I've never seen before, nor the rest of us. So he's the stage manager, can't remember his name. Alex, was it? Good on you, Alex. Has laid out the day, and that's all right, that's the plan, that's what we're going to go with. Beautiful. As soon as we walked on stage for the first changeover, I said to GT, what do you want me to do, mate? Because you know what's going on. I've swanned in here from the office, all right? I've only been doing it for, 30 odd years, but I've swanned into your show. As far as I'm concerned, what do you want me to do? Right, Weez, here, do that, EP4 in that, links to that, rah, 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 beautiful. That happened all the time with GT. He shared his knowledge with the Gig Power crew. There's some younger guys here tonight. He mentored them. Without him even knowing it, took him under, like, you're all right, I like you, under my wing, do this, do that, rah, 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 rah. He taught so many people his craft. And at the end of the day, I'm awe-inspired by GT because he spread his knowledge amongst so many people. And all I have to do, or all I can do, I should say, is just say, thank you, GT. These people are better people. They've got better positions in the industry because of your efforts. You're a bloody legend, and rock on. Thank you.
Yeah, he knows what he'll get if he does hold my hand, that's for sure. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm Midnight, and I knew Greg, we go back to, well, as I told his family, we go back to the early 1980s. It would be probably 1980, 81, and I was coming down the back stairs of the Armidale Hotel, and passing me going up with a road case was a pair of cut-off jeans with a big smile, and that's the way that I will always see him. But we all have our memories of Greg, but I would just like to branch off and say thank you to his family for allowing us to share in this moment of intense grief, to share our memories of Greg as well. And so for letting us in, I say thank you. And also to share with you this message that on my last conversation with Greg, now my last couple of years have been a little bit of a battle with ill health, and I've come through it, and we're on the all clear sort of road now. Thank you. I'm very pleased about it myself. And he said to me that maybe my job now is to share that story with everybody else, not too intensely or anything, or get mawkish about it or anything like that, but to encourage other people to say that you can get better from these diseases. You can carry on with better health. This is Greg's message to me, to tell you to guys, go and get your health checked, and you may just carry on, unlike Greg, who sadly is leaving us today, but will never really have left us. But just go and get yourself looked at, and if you need help, put your hand up. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Alright guys, I'm not one for speeches, but I'm going to say this. I remember the day I first met Greg down at Kites Hotel, thanks to Phil and his band. Me and Greg were asked to leave Kites because we were pretty intoxicated, which I am now. We decided to take our pots out and go and sit on the front door at the Brighton Police Station to, sorry, my phone, sing songs next door. One of the coppers came out and said to us both, you've got the choice of going home or staying in a cell. So what did we do for the night? We stayed in the cell. Well done, Greg, for that one. We sang our songs, we passed out, and then we got set free. So I love him dearly. He's a good friend, and I thank a lot of people for it. Thank you.
Hello? Hi. Okay, I haven't done this since primary school. I'm Emily. I'm Mary Ann's daughter, and I just want to say to Greg, because I've been wanting to say this for such a long time, shit, no.
Hang on, darling. Okay. Just 5 seconds. I'll come up with you, darling. You can do it, darling. You can do it. You say what you think.
I'm so grateful, Greg, for making my mum so insanely happy.
He did.
You guys were so different in so many ways, but somehow you were so perfect for each other. You fit so perfectly together. And I didn't know you for so long. You were together for I don't know how many years. 8 years. And I didn't know about you till like three years after. I'm like, what the hell, Mum? Who is this guy? And when am I going to meet him? So I met him, and straight away I knew he was just such an awesome person and such a wonderful guy. So kind-hearted and always managed to make me laugh and Mum laugh all the time. And also, every time I saw him, he was always topless. I remember the last time I saw him wearing a t-shirt. He was always topless, showing his body.
You're lucky he wasn't bottomless.
And I remember one time I went there after my old work. And I was like, Mum, where's Greg? Oh, there he is, topless, looking after his chilies. All right.